What's happening, YouTube? You're watching Steel City MotoVlogs. I'm Derek T, your host. Today it is Saturday, August 19th. My last free Saturday of the weekend here, of the summer rather. Getting back into some stuff. This is a little bit of a new season for me. I have a lot of new things happening around me. So I'll tell you about those things in a little bit, but I'm out here today and I'm riding out to Cheat Lake, which is somewhere near Morgantown, West Virginia. Probably about 45 miles from it right now. The sun is out. It's about 70 degrees and everything else. We're a little outside of Pittsburgh right now. And this is kind of like the first real significant riding that I've done since coming back from Memphis, Tennessee. I've done some local stuff going to and from work and, you know, bopping around town, but I haven't, this is the first time really kind of getting back out on the road since that trip. And I'm riding right in a position that I like to ride. Bringing up the rear, tail gunning. That's where I like to make my living. And now I know this for a fact because I've had experience doing both. If you don't know that, you can go back and check the Memphis videos out. But this one's a pretty cool ride right here. I'm riding with Q all the way up front. You might remember Q. You might remember Q from this video right here. He's the one that actually let me test drive his 09 GL 1800, his Gold Wing. And then I got Mike, and if you remember from that very same video, Mike actually had a Kawasaki Vulcan. That was from a trip to Norfolk, Virginia. I shot that video about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And Mike actually had a Kawasaki Vulcan back then, but he's since traded that in and has the 23 Gold Wing. This is not the DCT that he's riding. I do see he's got a clutch and is doing some manual shifting there. So we'll get some interview time on that when we get out to the lake. We're passing through pretty close to Uniontown, PA. That's where we're at. I've been out this way before. And you've probably seen a couple videos me actually riding around out this way by myself. And we got yours truly on the 98 on the GL 1500. We got 3 generations of Gold Wings running today. We're out here representing. We got 3 generations of the Honda Gold Wing. Greatest motorcycle ever made. Yeah, I said it. Prove me wrong. We're out here having a good time. It's a beautiful day to ride. So let's get into a few things since we got to settle in. Let's see here. I got 43 miles. We're looking at about 53 minutes at the current pace. It's actually, Cheat Lake is about 75 miles from my house. And we're 30 miles into this trip. And I'm only just now starting to record. So I've got a lot of voiceover content that I can create another video with some other time. Anyway, let's get into some topics. I got a couple of them. First things first. Let me wrap up my thoughts on the roundup, Beale Street, the whole trip. I mean, the whole thing was just absolutely amazing. I got to meet some other motovloggers, Slappy Adventures, Craig Hainsworth, Q the Rider. That was an awesome experience. That was worth its weight in gold to me. If we didn't do anything else on that trip, but I got to meet those 3 individuals, the trip was a success for me. The heat was a little disrespectful, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how y'all do that down there on a regular basis. I'll never complain about Pittsburgh weather ever again. And then I will definitely, on a trip that long, never leave my house without my trailer ever again. So a few things that I came away with that. But now that I'm back and embarking on some new adventures, let's talk about something. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I've not only made my own videos about, what the experience was like, but I've also been able to watch other people's versions of those videos too. So I saw Craig's video about it. I thought that was pretty cool coming from his vantage point. I saw Slappy's video from that vantage point. I thought that was great. I made an appearance on Everything's Regular, and hey, for Everything's Regular, man, I really appreciate you allowing me to do the shameless plug for the channel on your channel while we were out there at the roundup. It was real cool meeting you as well, and I'm just going to let you know from me to you publicly. I don't know if you'll ever watch this video or not, but for those of you who came over to this channel and subscribed to this channel because Everything's Regular sent you here, number one, I appreciate the love and everything else, and let him know, man, my channel is growing, my audience is growing since I made that appearance on his channel. So I really appreciate the shameless plug. Solo Black 313, that's my guy from out in Michigan. We talk on the phone quite regularly, and I appreciate the shout out that he gave me in the last video that he did. But he brought up a topic, and we were on the phone talking about it, and he brought the topic out in a video, and so I said, well, let me put my thoughts together and go off of this. But his last video, he talked about, are motorcyclists, are bikers, are we selfish people? Can we be selfish? So let me answer that question from where I sit, from my vantage point. Today, August 19th, I literally had 3 different things all happening at the same time. Number one was more of a volunteer work related event that I could have showed my face at today. It started at 10 o'clock this morning. The second thing was a funeral for a friend of mine. Now, I'm not telling you all this. It was actually a memorial service. I'm not telling you this so that you can feel sorry for me. I'm not trying to bring down the mood of the video. I don't want to be a downer or anything like that. But a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, passed away, and they did his memorial at 10 o'clock today. And I chose just simply to remember him by the last interaction and contact that I had with him. I didn't want to go see him laid out or anywhere or any of that kind of stuff, so I chose purposely not to go to that. But that also started at 10 o'clock. And then when Mike texted me last night and said, hey man, we're riding out to Cheat Lake. I said, cool, what time we meeting? He said 10 o'clock. So 3 things were going on at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I said to myself, well, there's 3 things that I want to do, or rather that are laid out in front of me, but there's only one thing that I want to do. And so I made the choice to get out and get the wind therapy. Everything else had something to do with everybody else, with all kinds of other people. But this is the one thing that had something to do with me that I wanted to do today. So I don't know if that makes me selfish. Well, then so be it. I think if you don't ride, you'll never understand the value of riding to a rider, especially if you don't ride. So yeah, if that decision alone makes me selfish, then so be it. But yeah, we definitely choose these 2-wheel machines quite frequently over other things. Yes, we have our obligations. Yes, we have, families. Yes, we have jobs. We have all of these things. But that doesn't mean that we don't make a choice to get out and enjoy the therapy that is getting out and riding and getting in the wind. and getting on twos, and particularly up here in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's the middle of August, headed swiftly into September. These hot days just aren't going to keep lasting. I mean, we live in Pittsburgh where it gets cold, so I mean, the summer works, plays hard rather, but when the winter comes in, it plays hard too. So yeah, got a lot of new stuff happening. Number one, as of last Sunday, I am a newly engaged individual, soon to be married. So the lady in my life actually accepted my proposal. So that's exciting. We're planning a wedding. The other thing is that I am changing jobs. I'm going back into the classroom to teach middle school math. For those of you who know me, know that I'm, been a school teacher for several years. Like when I say several, I'm talking about maybe 16 or 17 years. I taught from the year 2000 all the way up until the year 2017. And then I left teaching to go do some other stuff, embark on some other things. And now I'm back in the saddle. We had a week's worth of teachers in service getting ready for the school year. And the kids are in school on Monday. This coming Monday. So that makes a ride like today even more valuable, because when I get back, I'm not going to act like I don't have some commitments that I got to attend to. And then as a parent, no, I'm not having any new babies. But as a parent, I got to get my children ready for their school year, which actually starts on Wednesday the 23rd. Mine starts on the 21st. My kids don't attend the school that I work at. But it's a new old job for me. And what I mean by that is I taught at this school for about maybe 15 years. And then I left to do some other things, and now I'm coming back to that very same school, getting to work with some people that I enjoy being around, have a lot of admiration and respect for. And it's going to be great being back there. So got a lot of new. Got a new job, got new fiance. We're moving right now and preparing the house, and so new residents. There's a lot of new happening right through here. I might have to add something to the list, like maybe a new gold wing, since everything else is new around me. So we're roughly about 35 miles outside of Cheat Lake. This is State Route 51. I've ridden out here for my job. I've ridden out here for recreation. I've been out this way several times. But it's good to get out with these guys today. It's good to get out with these guys today. I haven't ridden with Mike and with Q since the Norfolk trip last year. We were scheduled to go to the Tail of the Dragon, and actually they went. Logistically, I ended up not being able to pull the trip off. I had some things happening here in Pittsburgh that were a conflict, and so I ended up not being able to make that trip. But they went, and they had nothing but good things to say about it. So I'm going to have to make that trip. Probably won't get to do it until next summer, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I decided to go back into the classroom. When I was in college, they used to say the top 3 reasons for becoming a school teacher were June, July, and August. I actually am a very passionate school teacher, and I know I'm very good at it. It brings me a lot of joy, affecting a lot of lives. And I've been doing it long enough now to where I have former students who are full-grown adults in their late 20s and early 30s, and they've got, wives and families of their own, and they maintain contact with me, with their old crazy math teacher, and tell me about the different things that they've experienced in life and the positive influence that I've had in their lives. And so it's really rewarding work. And really where I want to be. And like I said, this is just a great time of life right now. I'm talking to you on the DJI wireless mic. I did figure something out about the DJI. I figured something out. I finally found something that this device cannot do and that you shouldn't do. When we were on the way home from Louisville, Kentucky on that second day of the trip coming home from the roundup, I decided, I was wearing my full face helmet, and I do have a place in the helmet that's nice and comfortable for the mic to fit, but I said, you know what? When I wear my half shell, and I kind of wear that mic on my shirt, inside of my shirt, kind of like right here, it picks up well. It picks up really, really good, as a matter of fact. I have quite a few people who've asked me how I got my audio to be so clear, even when I'm not wearing a full helmet. And so I said to myself, well, yep, gotta pick it up. I said to myself, well, if it picks up so well when I'm wearing it right here, let me try it with a full face helmet on, and I wear the mic right here, and I wore it all the way home from Kentucky. And long story short, I have a lot of voiceover content from Louisville, Kentucky all the way to Pittsburgh, because the DJI did not pick up the conversation at all coming from right here. That's why I ended up having to voice that video over. So I know that when I'm wearing my full facer, the DJI transmitter has to go inside of the helmet in order to get the best quality audio there. It probably has something to do with just, my mouth being blocked by the full face helmet. Just there's nowhere for the sound to go in order for the transmitter to pick it up. So was that a lesson that I wish I would have learned before I left Pittsburgh? Sure. But a lesson learned is a lesson learned at the same time. One of the things that I never expected, talking about, new things, let me think, October 2020, it was the middle of a pandemic, we were on lockdown, not really allowed to leave the house, and the world was kind of falling apart. I had only had this 1998 Goldwing GL 1500 for maybe about two and a half months at the time, and I had done quite a few upgrades to it, and I was in the garage and kind of feeling myself a little bit, kind of proud of my accomplishments, and so I said I'm gonna make a video and post it on Facebook. I didn't know anything about video production. I didn't know anything about what a GoPro was, the infinitely many different movie editors that you can buy and use to put your videos together and everything else. All I had was my phone, and I was shooting from the hip. I didn't have any scripts or anything else like that. It's this video right here, my very, very first video. The channel didn't have a name or anything like that. I wasn't even looking to say, let me become a YouTuber or a motovlogger. I didn't even know what that term meant, and it wasn't on my radar at all. I just wanted to put out a video that showed some of the things that I did to my motorcycle. So what I ended up doing was I shot this 8 or 9 minute long video with my phone, and every single time I messed up, I stopped, I deleted that video and started all over from scratch. All in all, it probably took me about 2.5 hours to shoot a 9-minute video, not because I needed to edit the video so much, but because every time I messed up, I stopped and started over again. So yeah, that was and I finally got this 8-minute draft, and I said to myself, okay, now I'm going to post it on my Facebook. And when I went to post it on Facebook, I don't know if it was something with my internet connection or if it was just the size of the video was just entirely too big. But either way, Facebook wasn't allowing me to post the video. I was having all kind of technical difficulty. So I decided, I said, well, I have this Google account, this Gmail account, and I have a YouTube channel that's actually been in existence just as Derek Turner since like 2011 or something like that. Like if you go on the front page of my YouTube channel, it'll say something like member since 2011, even though I didn't post my first video until 2020. It was just associated with my Gmail account, and so it was sitting there, and I said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll drop the video on YouTube, and then I'll post a link to it on Facebook. That's what I'll do. And so I dropped that video on YouTube and put it on, I put the link on Facebook, and what do you know, it started gaining some traction, and I kind of liked it, and I said, well, let me do another one. And long story short, here I am, 3 years and 150 some odd videos later, 150,000 views to, about 2,400 subscribers later, and countless new friendships later. This motovlog thing has really kind of taken hold of my life for the better. And now it's added something else positive into my life, because not only am I going back to teach math, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but I'm also going to be teaching an elective course in video production and editing. And so, not because I went to college and obtained a degree in video production, or went through the state and got certified in video arts and all that other kind of stuff, all those crazy certifications you got to get. Not because of any of that, but because of the YouTube channel that I created 3 years ago, and that I'm constantly still learning different things. I'm now in a position where my YouTube channel has led to me being compensated to teach young people how to create and edit videos. And obviously they're not going to be riding motorcycles, not under my watch anyway. But that's really exciting that I get a chance to take my favorite pastime is creating and editing videos, and now I get to actually teach it to young people and allow for them to kind of go on a journey of their own, exploring their own creativity. I'm really looking forward to that. As we were getting ready to come out here, funny story, we were at Mike's house in the driveway, and we were kind of preparing our GPSs and looking at what might be the best route to go and everything else. One of the things that they said to me was, we were talking about who's going to lead the pack, and Mike said to me, we know you don't like to lead. And this is something that he could have only learned by watching my videos, and that happens to me more often than not. When I'm talking to people, they'll oftentimes quote me as something that I said that they only could have learned by watching my videos, and that always tickles my heart. It always makes me proud. It always humbles me too, at the same time, that people are watching my videos, enjoying the content, and then, at certain times bringing that content back to me and saying, yeah, I heard you when you said ABC or XYZ. I always laugh when those things happen, but he said clearly, he's like, yeah, I saw that. He was like, you don't really like leading, huh? Not really. I'd prefer to make my living back here with the action in front of me. Being out front is too stimulating for me. You got to look at everything. Road conditions, people behind you, GPS, traffic, highway signs. Just in case something is in the road. Yeah, you got to be all that. Thankfully, I had some people in the group who made that easy for me. Which takes me back to lessons that I learned from that trip. I am going to have to run a mic into my helmet near the center in order to be able to pick those conversations up. Because I had a lot of really good conversations that you just simply can't hear because the DJI is not close enough to the earpiece in my helmet. Maybe I might need to see if I can creatively replace the transmitter where I might be able to do that, but I honestly don't spend enough time talking on the center to other people while I'm riding to really ever really be bothered with it. So I oftentimes don't do anything about it because it never has really struck me as just a priority. I think if I vlogged more with other people and actually, you know, conversations from the road while riding with other people, I think I would probably make it more of a priority. I do want to do it. It's just a matter of getting around to it. You all know what that is already, running wires and all kind of crazy stuff into your helmet, trying to get it just right. What I probably should have done, for budgetary reasons, I went with just one transmitter, but I probably should have bit the bullet and bought two transmitters, bought the two transmitter setup, because having a second transmitter might actually be a good solution. Note to self. So we're about 20 miles out from Cheat Lake. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get back with you, concentrate on the road just a little bit here, and when we get out to the lake, we'll do a round of introductions. We'll reacclimate the channel and the viewers with my friends Mike and Q, and we'll talk about this 23 Honda Goldwing as well as the other two generations, and perhaps get some drone footage as well. So I will see you all in just a little bit.
Yeah. We're right now, or this right here?
Y'all take a look at what I'm looking at. I love scenery like this and everything. This is Cheat Lake in Morgantown, West Virginia. We got people on the boats. I've seen a couple jet skis go by. A little bit, there's a jet ski out there now. All the way, I don't think you can see it from here. I'm gonna take a minute and see if I can take the drone up.